What's up, guys? It's the MMA Moose here. I got my breakdowns for UFC 12. We're back in Vegas, and I got the picks. I like to be clear, concise, so that when it happens, you know that's what I predicted. You know that's what it is. First fight, we got Johns versus Natividad. Natividad is a guy who basically said that fighting is his life goal. It's his life passion. He's really been kind of on a run. Johns, they have a similar game, but Natividad is going to have the heart here, and he's going to get the victory. He could finish him. It could be close, but Natividad's grappling is good too, so I'm pretty solid with him. Next fight, we got Justin Ledet, and we got Jacoby. I honestly think that Jacoby's highly overrated. He's 12-5 as a fighter. He mainly lost kickboxing fights. He was just a can of kickboxing. Now he's made this miraculous comeback by beating Ty Flores. And, in a card where you're not going to have underdogs, you got a guy with Ledet who's got legit boxing. He's fought a lot bigger people. He hits kind of hard. He can definitely KO Jacoby, who was finished many, many times in his career. In fact, he typically gets finished and loses. So Ledet winning here, he could go for the takedown. Ledet, he's kind of crazy too, but I really like Ledet. Ledet's going to win this one here. Ledet's going to get a second round finish. Now we got Williams versus Witt. A lot of people talking about this fight, saying it's the one you should play. Now, Williams has actually some really legit KOs against actually really good competition. And I know he's like overweight and stuff, but he's kind of like Johnny Hendricks. Used to be a college wrestler. Now he likes to eat food. And, Witt he's just not good. His body, he looks okay, his takedowns, but really there's not much there. Williams does look terrible on the scales. He's overweight. But I think this is the ultimate potential to take Williams for that first round KO. I mean, path to victory, it's right there. Williams hits this guy and he drops because the power is for sure there. Okay, then we got Strickland versus Marshman. This is Strickland all day. Marshman looks terrible. Marshman should have never been in the UFC to begin with. Strickland wasn't a motorcycle accident, but he looks good on the scales, so that suggests to me that, his body's back, working, functioning. He actually has a size advantage here, and he's going to murk Marshman. Marshman could survive, but it's going to be big points for Draftkings. I think Strickland's might be lesser owned. He's actually a good play. Then next we got Giannis versus the guy from Alaska. And, the Alaskan guy is tough. He can kind of hit, but he's really tiny, and he can just kind of sit there and trade with other tiny people. Giannis, he lost to Johns before, which wasn't great to see. But overall, he's really solid. He's got a lot of KOs. He's going to have crazy length and size advantage here. And the other guy, he has been KO'd. He's not like he's super tough. So this I would say with everyone else that it will be a KO. Then you got Hernandez. He's coming off this guy who's not good, and he hasn't fought in a couple years. And, the other guy, he had one good performance in his life. Hernandez does kind of screw up, but this is one that he can't really, fuck up in. He's got better, and it'll be all right for him, I could easily see he's going to come out furious, and the other guy's going to be a little out of experience. So I could see a first round finish here for him. I really could, but my gut says some kind of decision. But I'll be fading him mainly in Draftkings. Then we got Bobby Green. Bobby Green, what's Bobby Green do? Bobby Green wins decisions. Enough said. Holland against this new guy, you just got to assume he KOs him. I mean, I assume he would. The other guy is pretty terrible. Holland can't be that ridiculously crazy that he's going to, entertain some back and forth with this guy for fun or whatever reason Holland does Holland things, but I really like Holland. Hardy, people like to fade Hardy. They look, he's been in decisions. But, like, if you really look at his fights, at the end of the day, he did have some decisions. He does have some KOs, but he went 3 rounds with Volkov in Russia, and Volkov's 6'10". So never mind the fact that Green's a little bit bigger. Green's been rocked by multiple people, not even in that weight class, and he keeps his hands down, and I can't imagine that Hardy doesn't KO him. Go big on Hardy, first round KO. Then we got Andre Fili against Bryce Mitchell, and I've gone back and forth on this one, but I honestly think you can't bet on Andre Fili. He's not good. Team Alpha Male's not as good as it seems. The way Fili fights and his grappling and wrestling and the way his body is, I think it's just a terrible matchup, and Bryce is going to do things to him that he's never felt before. It's not going to go well for Andre Fili, as it typically never does. So I think Bryce is super live for a second round sub or potentially just a domination. But I think a second round sub. And with the main event, I mean, you don't want to pick Uriah Hall, but in this case you have to pick Uriah Hall. He'll always lose. But it's Anderson Silva. He's 45 years old. He hasn't won in so long, and you want to think he can fight. But he really just stands there like this, and he's like, oh, and he like tries to counter, and it looks like he has no like muscle on his arms. And Hall's like jabbing and just pure stand-up is really, really good. And this is totally, the Dana White, they don't care about Anderson. They're set it, Anderson's making a lot of money. This is a setup for Uriah Hall, so that Uriah Hall can have a big fight, get this exciting win, and then Uriah Hall can lose his next fight as Uriah Hall does. But Uriah Hall's not going to entertain Silva. He's not going to just be nice. He's really going to go in there, and I believe like his mentality, and he does have a good mentality. He's a tough dude. He's not necessarily, he's not lacking intangibles either. This is a perfect matchup for him. Unfortunately for Silva, he's going to lose, and it's going to hurt. But fortunately, it's one of the locks. So I'd say that at the end of the day, I'm going to give you my locks that I guarantee would be wins. Strickland, Yanez, Hernandez, Hardy, Hall. These all, in my mind, have around 95% chance of hitting. You could actually hit a good parlay. You parlay all those, you're $1,000 bet. You're making like $4,000, maybe $3,000. Don't quote me, but some pretty solid profit in parlays when you look at it. Just after this, look at those guys I recommended, and just look at what the parlays would have conquered you. Good luck, everybody. Appreciate it. It's the MMA Moose, and I'm out.